What a beautiful send-off, because I just got done watching the season finale of Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus, and I got emotional multiple times during this episode, because we start off the episode flying over to Fukuyama, who has finally remembered who Iwamizawa is, the love of his life, his girlfriend that he stood by for so many years through her trials and tribulations, only to forget. And he is gripped by the guilt of that. It's not his fault. This is something that puberty syndrome has done to him outside of his control, but he still has to live with the guilt of not remembering, not being there for her through one of the toughest times in her life. So then, gripped by this guilt, he flies back as soon as he can to confront Iwamizawa, throwing himself in front of her car out of desperation for her to remember, for her to see him, just for her to confront him with nothing. To pretend that she doesn't know him, because the reveal is she never forgot who she was. She might have pretended to be Kirishima, but she never forgot. She only pretended to forget so that she could give up the life of Iwamizawa, the person that only gave her trouble. To become Kirishima, the person who gave her the fame that she wanted so desperately. Her ego, her self-desire to be the best, got a grip of her and caused her to cast aside everything that she held dear to her. Sakata called her out on this, and she finally broke. She finally had enough of pretending and gave herself to Fukuyama, who is honestly one of Earth's strongest soldiers, because she was ready to cast him aside for her own ego. That is a strong man right there, and that is a beautiful story. And then you cut over to the second part of this, which is Sakata literally throwing his life on the line for Mai, the person who he loves the most, throwing himself onto the stage, shoving her out of the way to save her once again. He's already done this before, and he does it again. And he pays the price. Now, granted, it's only small potatoes in the end, but he gets a concussion. And I think it's such a beautiful moment where he goes to the hospital and so many of his friends finally show up for him. They all show up for him in his moment of need, someone who has done more for the people around him than he's done for himself. Sakata, you are a beautiful soul, and you deserve to have the people close to you show up for you. He calls it out at the end of, like, so casually nonchalant, being like, oh, I saw so many people that matter to me, and Mai says they care about you. You've done so much for them, and they finally show up for you, because this looked bad. This was bad. I don't know about you, but this season really had me, so let me know your thoughts.